honey challah today. It's a really nice bread recipe. A friend of mine turned me onto this bread ages ago. I've adapted the recipe a little. The original recipe I had used white sugar and meant a half cup of white sugar for 2 loaves of bread. I've changed it up to honey. You'll end up using a 1/4 cup of honey, but even though honey per teaspoon has more calories, you get to use less of it because it's a lot sweeter tasting, and the yeast love it. So anyways, let's get started. So, got a 1.5 cups of water, warm water. This is to get our yeast going. So my honey is a little hard. I didn't soften it. You can take honey like this, and to soften it, just put the container in a pot of warm water, not on the stove, but just set it in and it'll liquefy again. But this is my dark cooking honey. I don't really worry about it. It's usually you put it, if you're having in your coffee or making bread like this, or even a cake, you can warm it just the amount you need. So we take a 1/4 cup of the dark honey, put it in the water. We're going to put the yeast in and dissolve it. Squeeze nice and clean. Get the whisk in there, it'll work faster. And if you don't get it all dissolved right off the bat, it's not a big deal. It will, as the yeast proofs, it will dissolve. Okay, that's good. So 1/2 ounce of traditional yeast. Stir that in. Just want it to kind of start activating. Alrighty, there we go. We'll set that aside. Put that away. So I get my honey from a family in Lacombe, Alberta. Their company name is Pappy's Bee Company. You can find them on Facebook. I'll have the link below. So we've got our yeast and sugar mixture done up. Now our flour. For this recipe, all I use is all-purpose flour. I have used bread flour. It gives a chewier bread. You can omit half the white flour for whole wheat if you'd want. You still need, even when making whole wheat bread, you still need some white flour so you get the gluten to make the structure of the bread. One of my favorites, hold on, I'll grab it, is this multigrain bread blend by Robin Hood. It's actually really nice. It has little chunks of cracked wheat and rye in it. But you can't, still with that type of blend, I still add some white flour to it, because if not, it's so heavy it doesn't make a nice loaf. Alrighty, so we've got our flour. We need to add 1/2 tablespoon of salt. Salt helps give the bread flavor, as well as it controls the yeast, so you don't get a runaway yeast and have a bread that doesn't have much structure to it. Okay, mix that in well. Now we're going to need 1 egg yolk for this bread. I get my eggs from a local farm, so we get the beautiful, beautiful dark yolks. Oh, that wasn't very good. There we go, in there. Okay. And we'll need, our yeast is looking really nice. You can see on the top it's foaming. That means the yeast is good. I'm not going to worry about waiting for it to puff up big. It doesn't have to. So now I need a 1/4 cup of oil for my bread. I'll put my egg yolk in, mix it all together. Go. So make a little well in the middle of your flour. pour your yeast, sugar, or yeast, honey, and egg mixture and oil in. Get all the goodness out. Put it aside. And then just start working it in. I like to start with a wooden paddle because right now if I put my hands in there, they'd be gobbed right up. So, get it started. Try and keep the sides of the bowl relatively clean. And this 1.5 pounds will yield me 2 of these these loaf pans. Today I'm going to do 1 loaf pan and then a little pan of buns. This is going down to my son. Okay, enough. Clean my paddle off. Just grab a little flour off the bowl to flour my hand. Just do that. There we go. Okay. Alrighty, now we just got to work all that flour in. Kind of go gentle at this point, just kind of bringing it up from the bottom and working it in. When I usually do a 3-pound recipe, but I did yesterday, and this is just going down to my son and his friends. So they don't need the big recipe. It makes a lot more bread. I got 24 cheese buns out of it. I got a large poppy seed roll, a sweet roll, a dessert roll, and I got 2 loaves of bread out of 3 pounds of flour. And I've made this recipe. The original recipe ratios were for 6 pounds of flour. I use all 4 of my bread pans, my large ones, my small ones. I use both of my 11 by 13 pans for buns, and I usually can still get a sweet roll out of it in the end as well. Got a few raggedy pieces, and then I'll bring it out on the counter and I'll knead it. Alrighty. Okay. So now I want to knead it until it looks smooth. Little bits in there. You can see my hands aren't too bad. And as I knead, my hands will clean up as well. So you want to start with clean hands to do bread because you're going to be kneading. Yep. And this bread comes together really nice. It's got a nice smooth top now. It's a little elastic. Okay, so now we've got it together. A lot of recipes say, oh, you're going to knead for 10 minutes and stuff. I find this one works great. It doesn't need me to stand here for 10-15 minutes kneading. So I'll just grease your bowl. I rub it all around. So the bread doesn't stick while it's rising. Put the dough in, little dollop on top. This so it doesn't, a bit more. Okay. This is so it doesn't dry out when it's rising. Alrighty. Some people will put a damp tea towel on top. I don't. I just throw a tea towel on it. Let me wash my hands and I'll get the tea towel and I'll set it to rise. There we go. So now we'll set this somewhere warm. Not really warm, but draft free until it doubles in bulk, which this will take anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours to double in bulk. And then we'll come back and we'll form our bread. See you then. All right, it's been about an hour and a half. Our bread has risen nicely. We'll just dump it out, knock the air out of it. There we go. And time to shape our bread. So I'm using my smaller bread pans. They're not much smaller than my big ones. I love non-stick cooking spray. Spray the pans generously. See, your bread pops out nicely, no catching it. Alrighty. So I am going to make a 3 braid loaf. Oh, looks like I'll have enough for a small, for sure have enough for a small loaf thing of rolls for the kids. So you just knock the air out, make your ropes, those, attach them at the top. So just like you braid hair, over, and it's not a tight braid because this is still going to rise in your pans. Oh, this dough is so nice. So take it in the pan, set it down, do another. One. Try and get your ropes as even as possible. The ends, it's always nice if they're a little thinner because you're going to be bunching them or pinching them together. You get too much dough at the ends, it makes for a funky end of loaf. And the ropes don't have to be perfectly even in size. It'll all work out in the end. And there's 2. I better go get a small pan for that. I wonder. Maybe I'll make the kids a treat. Get my rolling pin out. Make them a little pan of cinnamon buns. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to go grab, I made candied ginger at Christmas time and I have a little bit of that sugar still left. I'll go grab that, the brown sugar. My cinnamon's right here. Okay, oh, that'll use this up. A little ginger flavor in it, it'll be nice. Okay, there we go. That's used up. A little bit of brown, so we get that nice caramel flavor. Cinnamon. Okay, a bit more. There we go. Alrighty. Have a quick wipe. Okay, so that's that's it. Nice and easy. And I'll probably sprinkle a little cinnamon on top and a little sugar when I go to bake them. Just have that little extra sweetness. Okay. Oh, cut them in about 2-inch pieces. Watch. I'll have more than I need for the pan in the end. Oh, maybe not. You want to leave a bit of room so they can expand. There we go. Squishy them down a little. It helps them kind of stay together. Alrighty. So now we've got our 2 loaves and a little sweet treat for the kids. We'll put our tea towel back on them and let them rise for about an hour, hour and a half before we put them in the oven. Okay, it's been about an hour and a half. You can see the cinnamon buns have filled in. So brush them with some egg wash and get them in the oven. Should put some sugar on. Sugar drizzle for a little added sweetness. Just using the egg white from the egg yolk that I needed for the loaves. So these go into an oven at 375. These guys will be about 12 minutes. These will be about 30. Alright, everything is out of the oven. These took about 13 minutes to golden brown. And as soon as they came out of the oven, somebody grabbed one to enjoy. And here's the bread. Okay, so I'll let them cool a little bit. Those are all out of the oven. And I'll show you what they look like. Beautiful golden bottom. Nice hollow sound. Tells me they're done. So that's what 1.5 pounds of flour will yield you.